Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to City Skylines, Green Cities. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back in the beautiful city of Greendale, where things are actually going very well today. We have demand for everything. We're sitting just shy of $9 million, with a population just above 120,000 people, and everywhere that we needed to build has, well, it's built. This entire new area here, Victoria Square and the surrounding areas, is fully built up. We obviously have some space in here that I could decorate with some trees, but for the most part, it is fully built up. Traffic is moving pretty well along there. I did have to turn off the traffic lights just here to actually keep the traffic moving pretty well, because that initial wave of people moving into the area was just causing, well, every problem under the sun, really. So I turned off traffic lights there. There's not actually that much traffic that moves around there, so I don't think it's too much of a big deal to have the traffic lights off there. Just to add a little bit of realism, though, I think what I'll do is I'll put a give way sign here, so traffic coming out has to wait until it's clear before it goes anywhere. Not that it necessarily had to wait. Like, I'm seeing it wait in some weird places there, but whatever. That'll just add a little bit of realism to that spot. As well as that area building up, and as well as the slight death wave across the city right now, the suburbs have pretty much fully built as well. I do think I want to expand them a little bit around the shopping area over here, and I think we'll go ahead and start off today by doing that. Also, I saw a few people that were really concerned about the fact that we were losing money left, right, and center last time. I don't know why that was happening. I haven't really changed anything. I've just built more areas and sort of got the population back up, and now we're making shed loads of cash, and that's with me having increased the budget on, I think it was parks and plazas that we increased the budget on before, so I'm not really sure why we're suddenly making shed loads more cash, but as you can see, it's plummeting again, and I also don't know why. I do kind of fancy increasing the budget on taxis, though. I think that could be kind of fun, just because I can, because we might get a couple more cabs out into the city. And let's get back to what we were going to do, which was just put a pathway around this area. And the reason I want to do this is just so I can properly outline this area. And why is the zoning on this so weird? That's very strange, the way the zoning is there, but I guess we can make it work. So there we go. We'll do that kind of thing just to outline the space. I'm gonna just change the direction that that path goes in there, because obviously that determines what side the lights are gonna be on. And then I'm gonna just select the path, and I want to move it this way a little bit, just to merge it with the road there, which obviously makes the road look a little bit wider and doesn't necessarily make the path as noticeable as it otherwise would be. But I'm not too worried about that, because this is supposed to be a very... It's not a super urban area, basically, is what we're going with. So we'll go ahead and just move these paths all in a little bit more, just to make it look a little bit neater, and also push those street lights in a little bit as well. The street lights over here are on the outside. I'm thinking that's probably fine. We'll move you in a little bit there, and move you in a little bit as well, just there, pulling it over this way a little bit too. And then this guy is just going to move in a little bit as well, just like that. So that nicely outlines that area. People can walk around the shops if they so desire, which apparently they want to do. And on this side, we are going to do pretty much exactly the same thing. I do want to see if I can do this properly, though. So that's going to come down to there. That's going to go across. Oh, can I get this to work properly? I think technically I can if I do this kind of thing and then just move it into the spaces that I want it to occupy. So there and there. Maybe moving that out a little bit. I think it was a little bit too far in there. Then this just gets adjusted, and this I can actually just stretch the whole way up here if I want to. I don't think I will do that. I think I'll do the paths properly. Just like this. And then we can just ever so slightly move this in. Moving the top bit down and in as well. And then we'll adjust you in just a second once we get the rest of the paths in here. So let's just go around and get all of these in here. There's actually going to be quite a few of them on this particular side of the shops here, but that's fine. I'm hoping people will, opt to use these, because they are going to nicely outline the entire area, and that's kind of what we're going for. And then what we can do as well is actually bring some of the houses in a little bit further to this area. I am thinking that maybe bringing a path through here could be an idea. Just something like that to, connect up to the road here. It would be nice if it connected a little bit nicer, but apparently that's not going to happen. So we'll come back and detail that in just a second. What we can do is just move all of these in a little bit. Move this down ever so slightly and move this to about there as well. So that'll line up really nicely with the concrete on these lots that's already there. This gets moved in, we line up the concrete. This gets moved in and we line up the concrete as well. And we just keep going the whole way around, lining all of these up and making it look a little bit neater. I've realized that the last few episodes have been focusing a lot on making things look good rather than functionality, and I kind of realize that's not necessarily for everybody, so I do apologize if, the aesthetics of things aren't necessarily your favorite part of City Skylines, but they are a big part of it for me. They always have been. If you go back to, if you go and look at the most viewed videos on this channel, if you don't already know, then you'll see that, the aesthetics are kind of a big deal to me. So I do enjoy playing around with them a little bit. So we'll go ahead. We'll turn on prop and tree anarchy so I can get some stuff in here. I want to get a nice palm tree there, just to fill up that little space. I don't think we need one there. I think that's fine. I think that looks all right in that spot. I don't know if there's anywhere else around here that desperately needs a tree. But this area in here will need a little bit of detailing. I think I put 2 trees there, didn't I? I actually put wow. I put a lot more trees there than I wanted to. Let's just turn the strength down and put another tree there and there. Then a couple of these little bushes or whatever they are, ferns, shrubs, whatever they are. Get a couple of those in there as well. Just to detail that space, fill it up and make it look kind of pretty. We'll go for a rock as well. Just because, rocks are a part of nature. There you go. All right. So hopefully people will decide to use those paths. I'm a little bit weirded out that this here... what is this? Why do I have a path there? I had parking lots there at one point, didn't I? That's absolutely what used to be in that spot. There were parking lots there, and I guess they're not there anymore, which is a bit strange. Not quite sure where they went. Do I still have that particular parking lot asset? I guess it was those two? Possibly? I have no idea. No idea if that's the asset that I wanted. But it's the one that we got, so we'll go with it. Let's just move it into position here so it lines up nicely with the back of the parking lot. Just unbend that ever so slightly and move you down a little bit as well. And then we have some room along there for a few more bushes and a rock, I guess. I don't want a rock in the middle of the road there. No, thank you. Go for a tree, and a tree. With maybe something a bit like that and that. I know it's clipping into the building, but that's fine. So something just like that to make it look kind of pretty should do the job. Now, are people using my paths? That's the question. Yes, they absolutely are. Perfect. Okay, so I'll let people use my paths. I want to come in and I do want to just extend this suburb around this a little bit and then put a band of trees around it as well. So if we go ahead and grab just the regular road here, that's actually in the perfect spot. So that can come out to there. It can maybe go a little bit further and down to, say, there. We can take it to about that point as well. And then off the back of that, we can actually just extend, you know, a couple of roads up the hill a little bit. I think that hill might be a little bit too much. It's a definite possibility. We'll just take that back a little as well. So something like that, I think, will nicely extend the suburb. I do kind of want to extend these roads as well. Just a bit. Because I don't think it'll hurt. So maybe just a little further. Something like that. Something like that. And something like that. Yeah, those being extended doesn't seem like a bad thing at all. We can extend this one as well. And this one. And it just fills up that space. We could even bring a road out of here if we wanted to. But I don't think we will. I think that's fine. I think that fills up the space kind of nicely. I would like to do something in here. We could get away with another road. Which I think we'll do. And I think that'll be fine. That'll just fill around the little shop area really, really nicely there. Have I messed up my... I haven't messed up the construction site, have I? I feel like it's missing a few barriers. I definitely get the feeling that's missing a few barriers. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment, though, because there's... I really don't think another episode dedicated to that construction site is what we need right now. I think we need to get on with expanding this suburb just a little bit here. And then I actually do have something in mind that I want to do down in the city as well, which is to do with something we built quite a while ago. I want to finally connect up the train station that goes to the airport. So we're definitely going to be doing that. Let's just go ahead and fill up all of this space here. And this over here as well. We'll let those build up. And what I'll actually do is come in here right away. And I'm going to go in with a few of these trees here. And a relatively small brush. Actually, make that brush a bit stronger. But I just want to fill up this space here with a decent number of those little trees. We could maybe come in with a few bigger trees, which I think are these ones. Those aren't the bright green ones. No, those aren't the ones I'm looking for either. They'll do, though. Those are bigger trees nonetheless. So throw a bunch of those in there as well. Then we'll get a couple of palm trees, because those do match the general scenery. And a couple of the shrub things as well. So just a really, really thick line of trees there between the houses and the shops. Can maybe do the same around here as well. Not that anything is actually zoned back there, but we might as well just throw in, you know, another thick line of trees. Get a few of those oak trees in there too. I've seen a few comments from people that have mentioned that a lot of the trees I'm putting down wouldn't necessarily be right beside each other. I just want a thick line of trees. That's really all I want. So we're not going to worry too much about realism in agricultural tree sense. There's another word I could have used there, and I just didn't get it. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I changed up this again just a little bit to make it easier for people to get around this particular intersection. So before, people were crossing over here. I didn't like that they were doing that. So what we've got now is these tunnels that go underneath there. And you also can't cross at any of these intersections because traffic's always moving and can sort of always go in one way or another. So I've basically set it up so that you go across the bridge. It's actually very similar to what we have in the center of the city somewhere right here. It's very similar to how this area works. You never cross at the actual on the street level. You go up onto the bridge and around that way. So it works much better, I think. It definitely works. There's not that many people that walk around here, admittedly. But if there were, this would probably work really, really efficiently, we'll assume. So, I suppose at the moment, public transport seems to be okay. There's not as many people using the metro as I would like. There's still a lot, don't get me wrong. Just not as many as I would necessarily like. But we're not going to stress too much about that because we need to get a train station in here. And what I want to do for the train station is I actually want to put one about here. So next to Thornton Heights, next to the Servicing Services offices. And I also want to put one down by Victoria Square. Because I think having a we're having water problems. I think having a train station by this big university thing might not be a bad idea. So let's go ahead and just, number one, extend this a little bit, extend the key, just so we can get a few more water pumps on there. We are going to need to level the terrain as well. So just level that out a little bit so the water can get right up to the pumps properly. And then we'll just throw in a few water pumps like this. We'll get 3 more of them and hook those up just like so. We do probably want to do something with sewage. Probably not a bad idea to move this entire thing, actually. So let me go in and just delete all of the sewage pumps and finally get those to a place where, you know, it's not right next to the city, because, you know, the city's been growing quite a bit. We also need to eventually expand the city over here. But what I think I'll end up doing is doing maybe some more suburbs over here. I do want to get some farms in as well. We have some fertile land here. We have some woods over here. I do want to start getting resources, basically, because we should do that. So that'll be something to look into as well. But for the time being, where is the water flowing? So water is actually flowing down that river. So that's actually probably a really good place to dump our sewage. That sounds horrible. Like, there's no nice way to say that. You know, there's really no nice way to say we are going to, well, there is actually, we are going to dispose of our waste is what we're going to do. It's still not the most pleasant thing to do. Oh yeah, that river flows out of the city. Let's just dump it there, huh? But I guess it's better than dump our sewage or dump our dumps, if you prefer. Anyway, let's just go ahead and, I'm going to line those all up like that. They're all pretty much connected, sort of. I think that looks kind of cool. Probably not a bad idea to extend this, though. Wow, that's what I wanted. Thank you for that, cities. Let's just do this in small sections. So something like that should do. They are gradually going to rise up as they get towards the end there, but that's all right. Let's just get you on there. I just want these to touch, pretty much. Oh, I realize the actual tanks back there are awkward looking. It's fine. They look cool from the front, which is kind of what I was going for. So we'll just get a big old line of these going like so. I really should have lined them up with the with these pipes in here. Oh well, too late. I've done it this way. We've committed. That'll do. So right there, that is hopefully going to be enough to get rid of all of the sewage from the city. I have a feeling it's going to be fine, just looking at the actual number that we have here. So we'll just extend this straight across the lake up to there. And for power, I think we'll just use the same method that we had before, which was this thing right here. 2 of these might actually be necessary, so let's just line one there. And let's just put one down there as well, just to make sure that they have power. And we'll get those working, which is going to be a sight. It's going to be a sight, all right, come on. And there they go. Yeah. Big old wall of sewage. Aye, that's... I know they're eco water treatment plants, but I can't imagine that smells nice. You know? Even with them being eco plants, that cannot smell nice. Also, are we actually doing okay? We absolutely are. Water availability, not so much, but the rest of it seems fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and get our train stations in here. I don't know how popular these are necessarily going to be, which has me a little bit concerned. Definitely a little bit concerned. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to connect it, because I don't necessarily want to add a bunch more junctions to these roads. But to be fair, these roads aren't super busy anyway. But what I was thinking of doing was using something like the little 2-lane alleyways to do this. So something like this, possibly. You know, just going along to there. Then if we have this one go up, we can connect like so and delete. We can have this one go straight up and connect like so, and delete. So something like that could work. We could also go in there and actually put in some taxi stands, which I don't think would be a terrible idea. Let me just turn off prop and tree anarchy to make sure I'm doing this properly, because I realize there are some trees on the roads there, which we probably don't want. Are these backwards? They are backwards. That's absolutely not what I wanted. But I guess backwards taxi stands is gonna be what we're getting there. Annoyingly. Let's just move these two in a little bit, so I can get a couple of paths through there, so that people can actually walk, you know, from the station to wherever they're really wanting to go. So something like that. Then maybe a pedestrian crossing there, which there technically is one, I guess, and there. So that should be fine. That'll give a couple of spots for people to walk across. As for the train station itself, please tell me it can go central. It looks like it can. I don't think it actually is, though. I don't think that can actually go central, but that's okay. It's going to go there. And that looks okay to me. That doesn't look terrible. What we can do is we're just going to bring the train line straight out by 20 units in that direction. 20 units in that direction. It would be nice to have some kind of bypass, I suppose. Definitely thinking that could be an idea. I really want to use these one-way tracks, though. That's the problem. I really want to use them. There's just nowhere to use them. So I guess we'll turn on the guidelines for a second. We'll go to there. And does the bypass... Oh, the one-way track fit... Oh, the one-way track fits there so perfectly, though. It's so perfect. It really is. It should technically be on the other side of the station, but we're going to do it this way. We're doing it this way because it just looks really good. So I'm not sure how that's actually going to line up with anything. Actually, I don't think... No, you know what? Let's just get rid of the one-way tracks. There's no point faffing around here. This is not going to do us any favors. It's just going to make things more awkward. So use the normal track. Normal track, unfortunately, doesn't quite fit. We can... we'll just move it out one more. No, don't do that. We'll move it out one more. We'll bring it along. And then somehow I need to connect it to this. So this is going to go another 10 units. That can go... I don't know, what's that? 540? That'll do. Then 10 units and 540 is what we spent. There it is. So that's our bypass. And that'll be fine. That'll do the job. As for here, I do kind of want the track to be visible. So I am just going to bridge this up and over. And I think I probably went about 9 meters there. So just like this should do the job. Probably a little bit steep for a train, but should be fine. Should be totally fine. We'll bring it along here. It would be nice to have this sort of follow around here, but I'm not sure how likely that is. Not sure how likely that is at all. Yeah. Not very is the answer, I think. Unless I can get it to go something like that, but even that's a little bit... Even that seems a little bit much. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the proper way to connect this would be. Possibly that? Hold on a second. What if we were to go... So 5 in that direction, and then 1, 2, something like that. I think that's a fairly even curve. If we take that back a little bit, we can then bring this in and curve it like that. I think that looks all right. Definitely think that looks all right. What distance are we looking at? It looks like 20 units from here, so 10, 20 is where that curve ends. So 10, 20, and there's like a gap. So there. So we want to line those up. And that should absolutely give us a nice... Yeah, that looks okay, actually. So that's absolutely set up to loop around here. And that means I could totally put a station over here somewhere. I think we'll probably do the same thing. We'll use the little alleyway. And we'll maybe go here. So something like that. Bring this road straight out. Connect it up. Bring this road straight out and connect it up. And then try and get the train station nice and, well, as central as we can get it, which I think is there. So that should be absolutely fine. This track should be set to come along here perfectly, which is good. I'm kind of glad I went with straight lines. Kind of really glad I went with straight lines. Because this could have been a lot more tricky without them. So we'll bring you to that line, and then this should curve around perfectly. There we go. All right. So those two stations are connected. There are no regional train connections over here, which is a little bit unfortunate. It kind of does suck that the only train connection is this one. We could branch off of it. We absolutely could bring that line in over here a little bit. I don't think I want to do that, but we could. I mean, if we went... let's see here. What if I was to go... What if I was to go like this? So 20 that way. I know I said I didn't want to do this, but we're apparently going to try. So something like that would work. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me the kind of curve I want, but it definitely works. Can I get this to line up at all? Not entirely sure I can, which is unfortunate. Yeah. So that doesn't really want to work unless I go from about there. But then I don't think it's going to line up properly anywhere else. Yeah, so that is about the best we can do. Although I could move it, I suppose. You know, curve it in like that, but even that looks a bit naff. I mean, technically that works. Technically that would give us another regional connection, but I think that just looks terrible. So I think we'll just stick with the original plan. We're going to bring this track across. It's going to sort of curve around here. And then it's going to tunnel under somewhere. I didn't think about this part. I did not think about this part. Where is it actually going to go? We don't want a train line running directly through the middle of this, do we? We somehow need it to connect over here, I think. So... yeah, I really didn't think about this part. Okay, well, challenge accepted. We are gonna somehow make this work. I'm not sure how we're gonna make it work, but we'll make it work, don't you worry. Let's bring this forward to there. Let's curve those around to meet. So just like that. And I guess we maybe go underground with it. I mean, that seems like the most logical thing to do here. Okay. So underground and 10 and up. Right. Okay. And then underground 10 to there. Okay. Then if we go underground again, we should be able to get those to connect like that. There's probably some weird stuff going on under there with the tunnels, but we're not going to stress too much about that. I'm actually thinking this should probably stay underground until this spot over here, but that's even going to be a problem. Okay. Oh, this is proving to be much more tricky than I wanted it to be. I want it to line up with that bit. I really want it to line up with that right there. It is just not going to play nicely with me at all. I really want it to line up with that one. I don't know why it won't. Can I get a little road in there to do it? So like that. And then that's where the train line comes off of. That's what I wanted. Okay. So underground. Oh, that's not going to work at all. Okay, it needs to go even further. Oh, this is going to be tricky. This is going to be so tricky to get to work. Okay, underground. There's so many guidelines, man. Come on. I don't want all these guidelines. Where can I connect this to that's going to be simple? I mean, there's this track here. But I really don't want to have to loop it around like that. You know, I don't want to have to, like, bring it back in here. Because then it has to come, like, in here and up and over the road and all that. And that just seems a little bit much. But maybe that's going to be our best bet. Because that is an open space. And that does mean we're not trying to cram the train track into somewhere where it's just not going to fit. I think that's going to be our best bet. So let's just bring this track up to... Let's turn the guidelines back on as well. So bring that up to there. And then we'll line it up with this over here. So it's going to curve around. And it's going to basically have to go underground over here and then under this entire district. I think that's going to have to be what we do here. So 10 units underground. 10 that way. Turn off the guidelines. It is technically going to intersect... Hey, that's a problem. It is technically going to intersect with the metro station. Actually, it sort of looks like it's going under it, so I think we're fine. We'll pretend it's going under it. It might not be, but we'll just say it is. So this is going to come the whole way under here. And then I need it to line up over here. So if I turn on guidelines again, I should be able to get this to work nicely. So just like that. All right. Then we connect from here. We'll bring this straight to that point. And then very, very gradually just curve to there. And you are going to curve to there. So that should be fine. That's going to come up to about there. Those two tunnels are perfect. And then this just needs to merge like that, really. And that'll technically... That should technically, at least, let us use all these tracks. So it'll bypass that station if it needs to. Why is there an underground track there? I just noticed that there seems to be a bit of underground track there. I'm not really sure why. So yeah, that'll bypass that station since it will need to do that. And I think we're fine. So I think that'll totally work. Which is great. So the passenger trains come from the airport. Let's see if this will actually work. So from Greendale City Airport, they have to go the whole way around to this station. Then to this station, and then they don't go anywhere currently. But that's fine. And then on the way back, they can stop there. And they just go back out to the airport. All right, I'm kind of keen to see that working. That's not going to be efficient at all because it just isn't. There's not really any... I can't imagine there's a lot of passengers that are keen to make that journey. But at least we're going to have passenger trains, which has me really excited. And the question, I suppose, is there any easy way for me to make it so that regional passenger trains can come in here? I feel like the answer is going to be a resounding no, but I'm not going to stress too much about it. I'm really not going to stress too much about it. I wanted to get those trains working. I got the trains working. I'm happy that I got the trains working. So we'll go ahead and put that just there. We'll make sure that these guys down here have water as well. So let's just turn off the guidelines for a moment. And we'll do that. And we'll do that. Go across like so. And also put the taxi stands in there. So that if people want to get a taxi... Oh, you face the right way. Of course you do. So if people want to get a taxi, They absolutely can. And that actually fits perfectly. Not bad. All right. So a bit of anarchy for the pedestrian paths. And there we go. Why do you still not have water? Why do you... There you go. All right, so that's you sorted. Yeah, I honestly don't imagine all that many people are going to be keen to use this. I really don't. Also, I realize... Oh, no, traffic lights aren't on there. Actually, there's a couple of people walking to it. A couple of people... That guy just, like, floated across the road to park there, but... I mean, there seems to be a couple of people. I saw a couple of people walking this way. Yeah, there we go. So those guys are keen. Anyone on the train? Nope. All right. I mean, fair enough. What if we make them high-speed trains? Like, what? I know this is technically cheating, but I'm curious. If we go into monorail, no. It's just train, isn't it? Passenger train. So what's the speed? 120 kilometers per hour. Okay. Let me go to Google real quick. I know you can't see this, but whatever. High-speed rail top speed. What's like the average top speed of high-speed rail? This is a really bad time for the internet to not work. This is a really bad time for the internet. 431 kilometers per hour. The Maglev Train service began operating in 2004 with trains reaching 431 kilometers per hour. Okay, that's a bit quick. Let's maybe not go 431 because that's seriously, seriously fast. But maybe we could go like 250. So that can go 250, and that can also go 250. And I'm curious to see, how that goes. All right. So if we just click on you real quick, does it tell? It doesn't tell me your speed, does it? But we can assume you're going very fast. You do seem like you're going very fast, so I'll give you that. You actually don't seem like you're going all that quick. It really doesn't actually seem like it's going all that quick. I wonder if I have to, like, spawn new ones. I have no idea. Either way, they can technically go very fast, which I'm quite okay with. Oh, there are actually people waiting here, which is nice. Like, there's a few people that are keen to use it. What about this one? Anyone waiting over here? How's this train looking? 8 out of 240. That's depressing. That's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. What about you? Anyone coming to the airport? 1. All right, well, that feels like a complete waste of time. Let's maybe deal with some of the demand that we have then. So this area over here, we could start looking into here to fill this up a little bit. I think that could be an idea. I'm also thinking what we could do is go ahead and actually start filling up some of this space just to hide the train tracks. So do something just like that the whole way along there. I know we don't have water along here currently, and I know that that entire area will probably get changed quite a bit as time goes by with, you know, different roads and all that stuff. But I'm just going to put offices the whole way along there because offices on avenues really aren't the worst thing in the world. They don't generate a lot of traffic. And we do have a little bit of demand for that kind of thing, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to run the simulation just yet because a lot of those guys are going to complain about not having water, which, to be fair, they're kind of right to do. You would be a bit annoyed if your office building didn't have water, so, you know, they are within their right to complain. And we'll just run a pipe the whole way down here as well, just to give all of these guys some water. We can run a pipe off of somewhere over here as well. We'll maybe go to that point, to there, and down like that. So that will give all of them water. I think they'll all be connected. I hope they'll all be connected. These guys over here actually won't be, so we'll just run this straight across to there. Straight through there, and to there. Right, so they're all going to be connected. They'll all have water. That'll be fine. Let's go ahead and actually... I'll run the simulation while I'm doing some building so that these guys actually get built up. So they can all slowly build. As for all of this space, I think I am going to just use this system again, where we have that kind of inner road going around the entire district. That did seem to work. This corner over here, I'm wondering if we could maybe throw... We don't have any of the monuments yet, right? But we do have a few of the unique buildings. I'm pretty sure at one point when I went through this, we had all of them. That's because I may have accidentally left the unlock all cheat on. That was not intentional, but it happened, so we'll move on from it. It would be nice to get Central Park in here. This doesn't necessarily feel like a Central Park location, but it would be nice to get it in here, because this is something I've wanted to build for a while. So what if we put Central Park, not necessarily there, but what if we come in with this road idea again? So we'll go to there, and we're going to just loop around the way we did. I'm going to turn off guidelines because they're going to be a pain in the butt. And we'll go like this as well. How am I going to do this corner is the real question. I guess something like this will probably end up working. That one does have a curve. That could be nice. Let's maybe see if we can line up with the curve over here. So the curve is at that point. And then it is 600 from the road here, approximately. So that's actually lined up to do the curve already. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get it done. Right, so we have our curve there. We can continue this road straight along. Obviously, this isn't all going to be just one huge district. I mean, it could be, but it isn't going to be. That's 520 from the road. That's probably going to do. That is 560 from the road. 520, okay. So that's going to come straight along here, which messes up the zoning massively because it wasn't actually in a straight line. Thank you, road guidelines. Let's see. So that is 520. That'll do. So bring that straight to there. We'll give that a curve as well. There is actually a much better way to do that, isn't there? It'll be fine. We'll just do guidelines, line you up like so, and that seems fine to me. Okay, so the reason I wanted to build this road is because I'm thinking I'll put Central Park on that. Somewhere like that. So it's relatively central. Obviously, it's not giving any buffs to anything yet. It will. But we'll put Central Park there. It looks kind of nice. And then what we'll do is we can come in with this road again and just connect like this. So we'll connect on either side of Central Park. We can come up and around it as well. And just sort of box it in like that. And then put some nice buildings on it. I don't know if we'll put houses on there or what we'll put there. I'm sort of thinking shops or offices. But I kind of like it. And then we can come in again. Actually, you know what? We should do grass-lined roads there. Just to make it a little fancier. So something like that. And then I think maybe another set of grass-lined roads. This time it will not have that central median. Going to there. Unfortunately, that can't come straight across, though. That actually really sucks. Okay. That's fine. We'll go 10 that way. We'll go 10 that way. And then we'll come straight down again. So we can get some nice zoning around that. It's not going to be perfect, but it will do the job. Can I get anything, like, really nice along there? We could do a one-way road. We could actually do a one-way road there. Let's have a one-way road that goes that way. Then we can come up to there and go the other way. So just something a little bit like that, so we can get a little bit of a buffer between Central Park and the highway. And that's pretty much going to be a district. That will pretty much be a district to itself. Okay, so the rough layout of the area is done. This is kind of what I'm thinking the sort of perimeter roads are gonna be. We've only got 2 connections to the avenue done here thus far. We will get another one over here in a moment once I get the inner roads done, but I'm actually really happy with what I did here. Obviously, that tunnel is a little bit much for what we have here, but basically, I didn't want to completely mess with this train track. I kind of wanted to keep the rocks and all that stuff. So I just put a tunnel under the tracks to keep them there and not interrupt the flow of traffic. It does mean that we're going to have to zone something on the avenue down there. But we'll probably zone something in that area anyway. So if we just go ahead and do this immediately, that is going to mess, unfortunately, with some of what I've done there. So if I just take out, say, that bit, we can keep the decorations that I've got there. And that should be fine. In fact, I think we can go there and there with it. And that'll be okay. So we'll go ahead and just speed up the simulation again. We have no demand for industry or offices at the moment. I guess there wasn't that much going around, which is fine. That area will slowly build up. What I think we'll go ahead and do, though, is we can fill up these spaces in here with some more offices. And I know this is a lot of office zoning, but having these along the avenues really does do wonders for traffic, because traffic rarely stops to turn into an office. It usually parks somewhere nearby. There's no deliveries to offices and all that stuff. So this actually does do a lot of good stuff for traffic management, having offices on those main avenues. So we'll surround the district in that. And then I want to go ahead and put some shops into these spaces here, because I think surrounding Central Park in shops is probably a good idea. And then I think maybe getting some pipes in there for water as well, so that they'll stop complaining, is also probably a good idea. So we'll do that kind of thing. We can come straight across here as well. Let me just bulldoze that so I can do it properly. And there we go. And then I think one just up through the middle there as well to cover Central Park. So that'll give that whole area some water. Gonna need to bring this pipe down here. And down here as well. Just to make sure that those guys aren't going to complain. And we're going to need to do the same over here too. So just the whole way across to about there. The whole way down this road to, say, there. We'll connect that corner. And we'll bring... We don't need to bring a pipe down this road because there is one on the avenue already. So we'll just bring this to... You know what? We'll bring it the whole way around anyway. Because I can. So there we go. So that can loop the whole way around, giving that whole area water as well. And then I think one pipe through the middle here will cover that space. And then possibly one pipe through there. And one through there. And we'll just do that as well. Apparently we can't do that, so we'll do that instead. There we go. So that whole area has water. And as it builds up, the only thing it's going to complain about is electricity, which is kind of to be expected. So while they complain, let's go ahead and get the rest of the roads in here. So I'm thinking we'll go for normal roads. And we'll turn off guidelines so I can do this the way I want to do it, not the way the guidelines want to do it. And we'll do... I think, you know what? This road here that I'm doing, this one can be one with a median, because that's going to go straight through to there. And this is going to come straight down. I think we are going to just do a bit of a sort of regular grid thing here. Because I think just coming off of Central Park, we probably want to just... you know, pack people in there. So I think that'll be fine. We could even go so far as having those be one-way roads, sort of alternating up and down. So that one's going to go... yeah, that one can come down like that. Or maybe they turn off of that main road. Then these two turn in towards that main road, and then these two turn out. I don't know how efficient that'll necessarily be, but we'll do it that way just because we can. And then I think that's just going to be a space for residential zoning. So something just like that. So that'll hopefully keep them relatively happy. We could throw a park in there. We could throw in some regular buildings. A couple of parking lots, maybe, just in the center there, just to change it up a little bit. Something kind of like that. Maybe a couple at the ends there as well. So something like that, I think, will be kind of interesting. That'll also attract people to the area, which I do kind of want to do. So we'll do that. That gives us a power connection as well, which is fantastic news. And we'll see how that area turns out. We are going to need to get a high-rise band on here, I think. Although we don't technically have it over here yet, so we'll see how that goes. But that'll be fine. And then I think this whole area up here is probably just going to be... Well, it could be another district, but I'm just looking at it and realizing I could split it as well. So if we maybe go for this road here, we can nicely split that into sort of 2 more districts. Quite small districts, but districts nonetheless. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually go for exactly the same thing with a central road going through there. And then we can actually change that up. So this road's going to go to there and this road's going to go away. And I realize I have prop and tree anarchy switched on, so all these roads have trees in them, which is kind of annoying. It would be nice to fix that. What's the difference in these? Tiny cul-de-sac. A one-lane, one-way road suitable for neighborhood traffic. What? I feel like that isn't a tiny cul-de-sac, I'm going to be honest. 2-lane, one-way road. I'm... okay. Slightly confused by that, but whatever. Let's just change up that road to get the trees off of it, because I totally forgot I left prop and tree anarchy on there. We'll do the same with this one. That one can actually... no, that's not going to keep the trees. That's, or the grass, rather. These roads in here are going to need a little bit of attention. They're not changing at all, which is really weird. But we'll do this just to get the trees off. And make sure that they're actually, you know, decent looking roads. So there we go. That area can slowly build up. And what we'll do is we'll go for exactly the same system where this first road leads out. Just like that. The second road leads in. Just like that. And then the third road leads out. Just like that. And we'll see how that ends up going. That's going to be exactly the same setup. Except this time I think we'll go for another row of commercial zoning just at the top here. And just in there as well. So that'll be fine. Then the rest of it is going to be residential. There we go. So that's obviously going to take a while to build up. We don't have the demand for it right now, but basically what I've been doing with any episode where we do a lot of zoning is usually I wait between recording episodes for the areas to actually build up so that we're not just sitting for an entire episode going, well, I guess it'll build eventually. So these will take time, but I'll wait for them to build off camera, and then next time we'll actually see what the whole area looks like when it's built up. So that's kind of the way that's going to work. Let's see here. I'm actually thinking it might be an idea to continue this one-way road here. Like that. And then also do this one. And then flip it. I think that might not be a bad idea. Because it does give us a really, really nice divide between those areas. We could even go so far as not actually zoning in there and just turning that into like a parkway or something. Which I actually think could look really nice. So let's do that. That whole bit in there is going to be a parkway. And I just need to get rid of all of the trees. Otherwise, I will never remember to actually turn it into something nice. So all of these are going to go. It would probably be an idea to put some bushes around it as well to sort of line it and some pathways through it. So let's just do... Let's just get this done. Let's just go for it. Let's turn off angle, road length, grid, all that kind of stuff. And just completely freeform this. So it's going to come in a little bit. It can curve that way. It's going to curve out that way. Sort of a bit of a sharp curve that way, and it's just going to go back and forth, sort of winding through the area. You can enjoy nature as you go, and it's going to just end there. Obviously, I could connect it to all of these roads if I wanted to. If I can get it to connect nicely, I think I totally will. Does it ruin the curve, though, is the question. A little bit. Definitely ruined it a little bit. So I think we'll just delete that. And maybe redo that bit. Because that did ever so slightly ruin the look. So something kind of like that. And, yeah, that actually completely ruined it, didn't it? Alright, we need to redo that entire section. Let's go. So you are gonna just snap there and curve like that. It gets awfully close to, it gets awfully close there. Can I move that? Just make that curve a little less. Move you ever so slightly. I think that's okay. I think that works. This bit here could maybe curve a little less as well. Then just move you. Yeah, that'll be fine once I get some trees on it. Okay, we'll come back to that. We can totally come back to that and make it look pretty once we get some trees in there. Let's just focus on getting this last area up and running, because it's actually going to be a bit of a pain in the butt with the train line there. So we're going to need all of these on for a moment, because I need to figure out where exactly the curves in this train line are. So I think it curves from there. So we want this road to come into like about there. And then the curve ends at that point, I believe. So basically I need to match that curve, which is ever so slightly tricky, but that does it. So yeah, that matches quite nicely. Unfortunately, it does give us a bit of a weird thing here, but I can come through with something a bit like this. The zoning's weird, I'll admit, but that's fine. It's not too much of a big deal. We can just do this. Bit of weird zoning, but at least it gives us zoning right against the train track, which is kind of what I was going for. So let's just do exactly the same thing. Turn on guidelines real quick. That's where the curve is. So let me just do a little bit of road there. And then we need to go like this again to there and around. Bit of a wider gap, but that's okay. Let's do that and that. And that seems fine to me. I can make that work. I can put some fences in there. I can make that look like the train tracks are actually properly blocked off. And all we need to do at this point is bring some roads through here. So a road like that, a road like that, and then maybe a road that goes over here somewhere. Like that, perhaps. And can I get one more? Absolutely. There we go. So the zoning's weird in that top part, but we can get a nice little bit of detailing along here. So let's just go for it. We'll go into here, we'll go to here, and we'll get our fences. And this is probably going to take a moment because I've got some curves in there, but that should be fine. We'll turn prop and tree anarchy on. We can make sure that it is on in here as well. And then we just go for it. All right, there we go. We have our fences. We have a couple of trees in there. The trains are going back and forth kind of nicely as well. On top of that, we also have some trees and some bushes around this bit over here. I don't really expect this to get used much, and I know the bushes look a little bit naff on the outside there, but I kind of like it. It's just a nice little green space in the middle of what's eventually going to be a really built-up area. Traffic is obviously a problem since we have a lot of people moving into this area at one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to turn off traffic lights, and we're basically going to do the same thing. Priority signs that say this traffic can go, this traffic has to wait. Same story over here. This traffic can wait. This traffic can go. Because there is just a lot of it. There is just a lot of traffic that's going to have to move around there. We'll do the same thing here to make sure all of this traffic can keep moving down that way. Because this is going to be a bit of an issue. Over here, I realize we could go ahead and add in another entrance to the area, because I did say I would do that. So I think just about there should do the job. Similar story with the priority signs. You are going to wait. You guys can go. So that'll hopefully let people in there a little bit easier. I know I could add a road over here, but with that being just off of a roundabout, I don't think that's a good idea. This one's a little bit of a different story. This roundabout doesn't connect directly to a highway in the same way this one does. So traffic will eventually flow into this area. It's just going to take a bit of time because we're waiting on traffic getting into the area to begin with. So that's kind of what's going on there. I'm also thinking that I want to put a hospital there, and that I also want to put more parking lots just into the middle of this area. Same way we did on the other side, just to add a little something to there. Because I do think this will look pretty cool when it's all built up. I imagine the parking lots will kind of fill up relatively quickly as well, so that'll be quite nice indeed. We have our hospital. We are probably going to need a police station as well. So we'll put the police station there, and we'll put the fire station just there. And that should give pretty good coverage to that entire area. We do... Oh, electricity's getting down there again, which doesn't have me too happy at all, to be honest. I'd love to see where these disconnected power grids are. I honestly have no idea. Like, I'm looking around and I'm not seeing. Has it divided into multiple grids? Oh, so it's because we have multiple grids. That's what's going on with it. Okay. Well, yeah, we do technically have multiple grids. We have this little thing out here as well, but I'm not going to connect those up. What we need to do, really, is we need to get more of these guys in here. Because they generate a lot of electricity. We just don't really have the room for them, so we're going to be stuck with other types of power plant. Technically speaking, nuclear power isn't entirely devastating. It's just the waste that's devastating, and also the potential of a meltdown that's devastating. But I don't think we'll bother with nuclear power. I am quite happy with how this is looking, though. I have to admit. We are, of course, going to have to bring the metro line down into here at some point. We can hold off on that, though, until the area is fully built up. I know it kind of makes more sense to put it in before it's built up, but I want to see just how this area looks when it's built up first, because we'll end up with a metro line in front of Central Park, of course. We can get a metro line up into here as well, but I want to see the area, you know, working first. I want to see people moving around first. So, I'll be honest, I'm kind of excited. We've extended the city down this way a bit. We've got the train lines in there, which are all right looking. I'm realizing the trains might actually be too fast, in a way. It's possible that they're too fast and they don't, like, board quick enough. We may also... Oh, that's a regional train. Oh, that's a fair point, actually. Regional trains can totally come in. They just can't go to the airport. So that's not the worst thing in the world, but the problem is that, technically speaking, we could have quite a few tailbacks with the trains. But I guess I'll just sort of keep an eye on that and see what happens. I do think I want to go into my train line, though, and I just want to turn down the number of vehicles, because I think 6 vehicles is possibly too many. We don't have enough passengers to fill even one train yet, so I really don't think we need 6 vehicles at all. So we'll go in, and we can turn this down to, let's say 2 trains for the time being. Especially with how quick they actually should move. Oh, there's a decent number of people got off there and immediately... yeah, so the pedestrian paths technically let them cross straight out of there, which is... I don't really like them doing that, but I don't really want to stop them either. because I like my pedestrian paths in there. They add some nice details, so that's a little bit awkward, but whatever. That's just going to be the way it is, I suppose. A little bit unrealistic, but it's not hurting anybody, except the people that potentially get hit by a train. But we'll just ignore that detail because I want to, basically. Simple as that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am rambling, so I think that's probably a sign that it's time to leave it there for today. Thank you kindly for watching. It's been my pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!